All right, when we talk about YouTube ads campaign structure, you see in a lot of Facebook groups, a lot of forums online, maybe even online courses regarding YouTube ads, they'll tell you about different campaign structures. Now, there isn't a right or wrong way to structure out your campaigns, but today we're actually just gonna reveal what's worked for us and for our clients to help them scale to 6 to 7 figures, okay? So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, so for today's video, we're actually gonna show you what campaign structure we've used to help generate clients' results in different niches, but specifically, what's the main campaign structure that you could probably follow and have success with, all right? So we're gonna dive in here, and I'm actually going to share my screen in a second, but I want you to keep in mind a couple of things just before we do that, okay? One, you have to have clear your objective with your campaign, right? And you have to have clear your settings before you go in there and just test different settings out and structure your campaign, let's say without order, right? So you want to have some order with this. With what we've discovered throughout the years of advertising on YouTube is there's certain ways of going about things to help the optimization process. That's, at the end of the day, what's going to move the needle for you, right? It's easy to launch campaigns, right? Anybody can just go in and launch some campaigns, select the different settings and just hit go, right? But it's another thing for you to have an optimization, let's say an optimized campaign structure, right? So you could actually optimize a lot better your campaign. So, sorry for the redundancy, but you guys get what I'm talking about, right? The more structured your campaign is, and the more, let's say, simplified, then the better the optimization is going to be. The most efficient, more easier. It's going to be easier for you to scale your account because you have campaigns that are organized in a certain way that are going to allow you to essentially pull different levers. So that's very important. Your campaign settings, we actually do have a video about how we set up our campaign settings, right? So you can check it out up there. There'll be a link. When you look at that, you'll get an idea of how to actually go down your campaign creation process and basically check different things off the list, okay? Again, there's no wrong or right way about this, right? So if a lot of people come from the Facebook ad world, right, you'll see that there's a few ways that you can go about setting up campaigns there, right? You have the campaign budget optimization way, or you have that turned off and then you actually optimize from an ad set level, right? So you can have one major campaign, and I see this across the board. We have people that have 10 to 20 different ad sets within one campaign, and they're basically optimizing budgets on the ad set level, right? So that is one way that you can get I wouldn't say a little lost within all the data, but it can get a little messy, right? Because you have all these shell campaigns. You have the big shell campaign, and then you have the small shells here where you're optimizing different ad sets. So, it's more tedious that way. It's extra stuff, extra layering that you're basically putting on your campaign. So with the way that we do it, we simplify it as much as possible, and it's actually proven to have better results than just to have one campaign, 3 ad groups, 5 ad groups, 10 ad groups, right? And then 4 or 5 ads within each ad group. So, the idea is to simplify it as much as possible. Again, not to say that way is wrong, right? I'm not here to play, a judge, right? We're not here to judge the way that people are setting up campaigns. Rather, we're gonna reveal what we've used that's worked for us and that can potentially work for you, okay? Let's dive right into the screen here.
Hey guys, before we move on, I wanted to talk about something very special very quickly. If you are interested in running or are already running YouTube ads, this is for you. I wanted to introduce you to a few people that are killing it with YouTube ads. Mike made over $1.5 million with e-commerce YouTube ads. Bastian did over $300,000 for a client at a 10x ROAS. Boyd's making $5,000 a day with his course. Kale made a client $40,000 from just $8,000 in ad spend. Lloyd made a client $33,000 from $12,000 in ad spend. Do you know what the one thing they have in common? They're all part of my Expert YouTube Ads training program. We have the most technical YouTube ads course in the market with live weekly calls, a Facebook group where you can ask any question you want about YouTube ads, and more. And some of the best students spending thousands or even $10,000 a day on YouTube advertising. So there's a link below in the description to go book a demo call. Go and book a call to get a preview of the course and see if it's a fit for you and if it can help you get your YouTube ads to $5,000 a day or more. Now let's get back to the rest of this video.
All right, so let's look at our screen here. So this is a client account, and you can see that we have quite a bit of campaigns enabled, right? So you'll see that some of them are cold, some of them are warm. Obviously, the other information is blocked out for privacy reasons. But essentially, we want to take a look at the campaign structure of this, all right? So for example, this is a recent campaign that's actually killing it, you know, on the cold audience, right? And it's actually one of the Google stock audiences, the in-market audience that is working for this. So this is a $50 a day campaign, right? It's spent $177 so far, and it already has 9 purchases, and the revenue is $3,300. That's at 17 ROAS just on that campaign alone, right? So as you can see, I mean, you know, this stuff, you can't make this stuff up, guys. And this is the structure that we use for this campaign. And that's not just, you know, there's multiple campaigns that are doing quite well on this account. This is ROAS with no view through here, which is what we're looking at for this particular account. And let's just take a look. So this is the campaign. I'm inside the campaign, and this is one of let's say one of the new tests that we've been doing lately. So this would be a little extra nug for you guys. If you have not tried responsive video ads, then it might make sense to do it now, because you know, it is bringing in some good results in some of our campaigns across the board. On this one, not so much yet. It hasn't really spent as much. And that is why we like to simplify. So this is a perfect example. So as you can see here, this is 2 ad groups, right? So this is that one campaign I just clicked. You know, again, we're only spending $50 a day on this. And we have the ad group that is just for in-stream. Okay, this is for the in-stream format. So we can just click in the ad group, and you'll see that we have 2 ads in that particular ad group. Okay, so obviously this is the winning ad so far, right? So this right here is just crushing it, you know, 19 ROAS, right? And it's only spent $153 or so. And this is another thing at times that, you know, a lot of media buyers, they tend to overlook, is that with the algorithm, at times Google will fall in love with a particular ad, right? And it will give more love to that ad that is just basically, you know, overperforming, right? So it might make sense to kind of isolate these ad variants and create it in its own campaign. That's why we like to kind of simplify things, right? But we understand that a lot of people, they may start out their YouTube ad media buying process, just they want to test out 4 or 5 different ads at a time. But the suggestion is, yeah, like 2 to 4. I mean, that's what we say in our course, which, by the way, if you haven't purchased our course, you could actually do that. You can sign up. There's a link below in the description, and you can get the 2021 YouTube Ads course, the most in-depth out there right now. You can get a free demo of this course. There's a link below here. You don't want to miss that, okay? All right, so now, again, with this particular setup here, we have 2 ads in that ad group. Let's go back here to the ad groups again, and this is a responsive video ad or video action ad, as you know, it's also labeled. This one has not had a lot of impressions, as you can see, and you know, we're looking at fairly recent data here, last 7 days. You know, the click-through rate here is not great at all, but it's only spent $10. So you know, we just got to give this some time. But what I'm seeing that is happening is the in-stream ad, since that one is performing better right off the gate. Google is pretty much giving this a priority in terms of the impressions, number of impressions served, right? So, I mean, it has over 5,000 impressions, as you can see. So again, it might make sense for me for this particular campaign to just isolate things that are not getting as much love from the algorithm, right? But we want to keep this running. So I don't make any changes to this. I can basically vertically scale this, right? So obviously from $50, I can literally take it to $80 or $100, right? If you want to go, from a small budgets, you can go be a little bit more aggressive. So like this one, I want to keep it running for a little bit at this stage, at this budget. And then at the end of the day, I'm probably going to be increasing budgets on that. But again, that's a different story, guys. We're talking about the campaign structure here. I was just getting a little excited looking at this account and seeing this campaign working for us, right? But that's one of the main structures that we're using right now. One test is one campaign, and then we have 2 ad groups within the campaign, basically to differentiate the formats. Because what happens is you can't create, let's say, 2 different type of ad formats within one ad group. You have to choose what type of ad, right? So this was an in-stream video ad and a video action ad. So as you can see, again, go back to it here so it's clear for you guys. That's in-stream, right? And I like to normally label it, just kind of missed it here, but in-stream and then responsive, as you can see, okay? But that's one really standard, let's say, campaign structure here. This is another one. Look, in-stream back, that's the same thing, responsive ad. So this is another campaign that we're testing. So these are relatively very simple setups, right? This is one that's basically going by our standard, right? That we normally do one campaign, one ad group, one audience targeting type, right? So this one, for example, it is a warm campaign, right? It is a warm campaign. We have all 7-day visitors here, for example. We go here, this is just one ad, and it's still performing well, right? Last 7 days, right? And then, yeah, so that's essentially the campaign structure for this particular account. Again, you can do it in various ways. Sometimes we like to take, when it's a keyword campaign, we like to create maybe an ad group per different keyword themes. That's also another way that we've done this before. So let's say like we'll have, one ad group would be for, I don't know, let's say Shopify keyword themes. And let's say we're selling something regarding e-commerce. The other one would be, I don't know, Magento or what's another tool right now? BigCommerce, right? BigCommerce theme keywords. And we would just segment those by each ad group. So each ad group will have the specific themed keywords. So that's another way that you can do this. But yeah, I mean, it's really not that complicated, guys. The idea is to simplify it, right? That's the whole point of creating, one campaign, one audience type, right? Hopefully one ad group. If not, you can differentiate the video formats, right? If you want to go with a responsive, you want to try one with a discovery ad, you can do that by separating the different ad groups, creating multiple ad groups. But it's the simpler the better for you, because later down the road you're going to be able to optimize accordingly. So there you have it. I mean, this is pretty much what we wanted to show you guys. This is really a very simple campaign structure video that can give you guys some ideas on how to structure your campaign. Maybe right now you're looking at this, right, and you're comparing to your own campaigns and you have like a big mess, or you have just too many stuff going on. Try to simplify things. It doesn't have to be complicated. You have winning ads, test those winning ads. Once you have, like at the beginning, if you want to test all of them, like 3, 4 at a time, great. From there, try to identify those winning ads, and then from there, you can simply structure your campaigns in a simplified manner, right? And just really take the best demographic that's already working, giving you results, and basically just scale from there, right? And put all those ads to the test with the different audience targeting that we have, or keyword targeting that you can, based on your research. All right, so there you have it, guys. This was our money-making YouTube campaign structure. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit subscribe, turn on your notifications to get notified when we drop some more YouTube ad knowledge for you. And by the way, if you're looking to save time when you're launching campaigns, then you might want to check out this next video here. It's called the Google Ads Editor Tutorial. It's a tool, it's completely free by Google, where you're going to be able to learn how to launch campaigns, set up your campaigns in record time. So take a look at it, and we'll see you on the next one.